All right, everybody, welcome to 90.9, the quadratic for your Algebra 2, Chapter 4 test review video number 1 here. We're just going to go over the first page. Guys, on 1 through 6, when it says determine whether a function has a min or a max value, it's all about whether you're given a positive x squared versus a negative x squared. If you have a positive x squared, then it's going to make a u. And what does a u have? A u has a minimum. If it's a negative x squared, it's going to make an upside down u, which we call an igloo. What does an igloo have? It has a max, right? That top right there is a max. Guys, the vertex, you can kind of think of it as like the midpoint here. It is either going to be a minimum when it's a positive x squared or a maximum value when it's a negative x squared. So really, on number 1 here, f of x, again, this just means the function in terms of x, which is all I have variable-wise here, all right? So don't get worried about the whole f of x deal. This is a positive 1x squared, so this is going to be a u. What does a u have? It has a minimum value, so that's the first part, it has a minimum. All right, so what is this whole finding that value? It's really all about the vertex, okay? And the vertex is all about negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a, all right? So, a is 1, 1x squared, b is a negative 4. So, negative b over 2a would be the opposite of negative 4, all over 2 times a. So 2 times 1 is 2. 4 over 2 is 2. Gonna take that 2 and plug it in for x. That's what the whole f of 2 means. Plug 2 in for x. So 2 squared minus 4 times 2 plus 3. 4 minus 8 plus 3 gives you a negative 1. So the vertex would be 2, negative 1. Since we're talking about a min or a max value, that's all about the y-axis, right? Because it's height, so it's the y value here. Negative 1, the y value, is the minimum value. All right, so take a look here at number 2. We're going to do negative b over 2a again. So negative b over 2a would be negative 16, the opposite of that middle term, over double this number there, so negative 6 gives you 3. You're going to take that 3 and plug it in for x. Negative 3 times 3 squared plus 18 times 3 minus 4. You can literally type it in just like this with the parentheses. That's a positive 3. I'm trying to write while also filming it. Maybe that's not a great idea. I should look where I'm writing here. All right, so just do the arithmetic. Negative 27 plus 50 is 23. 23 is a negative 3x squared. It's going to make the upside down u, the igloo. 23 is a maximum value. So those are your 2 answers there. All right, so take a look at 4. Negative 2x squared, it's going to make the igloo. An igloo has a maximum value. Negative b over 2a would be negative 4 over double that value right there, negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4 is a positive 1. So I'm going to take that 1 and I'm going to plug it in for x. Negative 2 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 1. It's going to be negative 2 plus 4 minus 1 is a positive 1. All right, you're going to get a decimal here for negative b over 2a. First off, that's a positive 1x squared, so it's going to make the u, which has a minimum. That's a minimum value. All right, so negative b over 2 times 1, that's just negative 1.5. It's all right to get a decimal. So f of negative 1.5, plug that in. I'm going to take negative 1.5 and square it, plus 3 times negative 1.5 plus 7. Get 2 1/4 minus 4 1/2 plus 7, which I believe is 4.75. 4.75 is a minimum value, sorry. 4.75 right there. All right, here on number 5. Positive 1x squared, so it makes a u. A u has a minimum value. Negative b over 2a is going to be 6 over 2 times 1. Gives you 3. Take that 3 and plug it in. F of 3 is 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 18. 9 minus 18 plus 10 is positive 1. All right, and finally on 6 is a negative 4x squared. It's going to be an igloo. An igloo has a maximum value. Negative b over 2a. The opposite of my middle term is negative 8 over double a. If you double negative 4, you get a negative 8. Negative 8 over negative 8 is 1. So I'm going to plug 1 in for x. Be careful, you're going to square x, then multiply it by negative 4. So this is going to be a negative 4 plus 8 minus 11. That is a, how about negative 7? The only thing we're adding in differently on, or adding in on 7 and 8 is this whole thing about the y-intercept. Guys, we have technically found the vertex. Like the vertex on 5 is 3, 1, 3, 1. The vertex here would be 1, negative 7. So we've done this whole vertex thing over and over. You just didn't know it. The y-intercept is the number, is that constant, guys. This is when x is 0. When x is 0, I'm just left with 10. When x is 0, I'm left with a negative 7. So I can do that really first here. When x is 0, y is 3. So my y-intercept is simply y equals 3. Guys, that's a positive 1x squared. It makes an igloo, so it has a minimum value. The vertex is a minimum. Let's find that vertex. Negative b over 2a is the opposite of 8 over 2 times 1. That's 4. So my vertex is going to be 4 comma something. All right, so I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to plug it in for x. 4 squared minus 8 times 4. Plus 3, that's 16 minus 32 plus 3, that's a negative 13. All right, 4 negative 13 is my vertex. That is a negative 3x squared, so it's going to make the igloo. What does an igloo has? An igloo has a maximum value. The y-intercept is when x is 0. When x is 0, you're left with that negative 7, that c, that constant. All right, this whole negative b over 2a to find the vertex, the opposite of my middle term, all over 2 times a. So my vertex is going to be 2, comma, we'll find out here in a second. Plug 2 in for x, negative 3 times 2 squared. It's kind of hard here to write when my paper's trying to go away from me. Minus, sorry here, minus 7. All right, so 2 squared times a negative 3 would be negative 12. 12 times 2 is 12. Minus, gosh darn it, minus 7. All right, this is going to give you, I think, 12 minus 7, which is 5. Finally gives you 5, and your vertex would be 2 comma 5, 2 comma 5. All right, that's the first page of your test review. This is 90.9 The Quadratic, signing out.